We saw far-right mobilization from quite early on after the attacks in Southport. We started to see the circulation of misinformation that claimed that the attacker was of Muslim background, that he was on a watch list for security services, that he was an illegal immigrant. And very quickly we saw the mobilization of anti-Muslim and anti-migrant hate online, including being driven by far-right actors. I think it's clear to see the relationship between misinformation in the wake of the Southport attack and the violent protests and riots that we've seen spreading across the country. We saw very quickly a false name of the attacker circulating and being used to justify attacks against Muslims and migrants. And this really was underpinning many of the anxiety and anger that prompted these riots.
There are a number of actions that came out of the meeting. The first is we will have a standing army of specialist officers, public duty officers, so that we'll have enough officers to deal with this where we need them. The second is we'll ramp up criminal justice. There have already been hundreds of arrests. Some have appeared in court this morning. I've asked for early consideration of the earliest naming and identification of those involved in the process, who will feel the full force of the law.
A large crowd began to gather in Sheffield city centre, diverting a number of force resources. It was at this point we began to see an escalation in violence in Wath. Hotel windows were smashed, and there was a concerted effort to cause damage to the interior and serious harm to those inside. It was ultimately a disgusting display of thuggery continuing well into the evening, with our policing operation only finishing around 5 a.m.
I would like to reassure the community that we are fully resourced at this time with a strong police presence. Violence will not be tolerated. Hate will not be tolerated.
I just think it's really important to show that yes, there may be some right-wing people around, but actually this community is really united. They really believe in supporting refugees, in looking after vulnerable people, and this is the loveliest community I've ever lived in. I've been here for 20 years.
Physically, we need to stop the fascists. This is the only way that's ever worked in the past. When we look back at history, in Cable Street, 1936, which is big around here in the East End, we stopped them then. We stopped them here about 10 years ago in Walthamstow when Tommy Robinson and the EDL tried to march. We stopped them then, and ultimately that's the only thing that the fascists understand is mass mobilisation, working class mobilisation against them.
This protest, this counter demonstration, it was peaceful. We're here to say that we're kicking fascists off the streets, we're standing up for our communities. It's not to incite violence or hatred, it's to come together.
This is Birmingham, it's a proud city, black, white and brown, all sorts of religions, all sorts of nations, and it's times like this where we all stand together and we stand against racism, Islamophobia. We stand against that as one. As you can see here today, there's people from all over the city, and we're here to show everyone, not only in Birmingham but across the country, that Birmingham is a safe space for everybody to go about your business. And whenever we call a gathering like this, it's not a gathering for violence or to fight anybody, it's a gathering of unity to show all the families out there that they are absolutely safe.